just blur the V line a little bit, and I'm right.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was a misclick.
yeah, yeah.
I think you still go Viego. And if you get
100%.
Renekton, yeah, if you see Renekton being picked up by Team Liquid, then you still have Gnar available. That's another great Ssumday pick. So, want to see what Team Liquid's response is.
Last game, they were Syndra Lee 1-2. The lack of mid lane champion priority is interesting, but that is a nice little wrinkle that they take the Kalista earlier because it got banned out in the second phase because they took that top lane matchup earlier on.
And I very, very rarely see and don't like compositions that have Kalista, but you play away from the Kalista. So I think this is just a change in strategy from Team Liquid to play towards this bot side and help her out.
And while I understand it can be a flex, I have a feeling we might be getting that Lee Sin mid paired with possibly a Sejuani or so in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, that was a combination that worked really well for them previously, and with both the Jhin and Trundle remaining off the table, I would not be surprised if they went that way.
It's a really early Jhin.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I assume they're just gonna pick Syndra with it for setup.
Yeah, some of the 80 carries that we've seen.
Oh, Renekton.
There it is. Okay,
I lost
instantly.
track of the Renekton.
So the Jhin pick, of course, like it's good to pick your 80 carry immediately, knowing that you're going up against the Kalista. A lot of people would rather go towards the Ashe as a pick, but the Jhin now, I mean, that's just I just want to see what FBI can do on the pick.
I also think it's a bit of a call out, given that you see the Lee Sin, unless they do what James is talking about, flexing at mid. That's a not super tanky jungler in that position. And then top lane, Alphari doesn't want to play tanks.
Of course.
He's not going to pick Ornn into your Jhin and suddenly you're shooting a meatball. You know it's going to be a carry. So in that sense, Jhin will always have good targets once you see what the jungler position is.
Yeah.
And so I do kind of like the call out there, even though it's a little earlier than you're used to seeing against the team comp that you're playing into.
It's like TL looked at game one and they said, not enough volatility. Let's add some more into the mix. Let's go ahead and take that Renekton Jayce matchup.
It's gonna be a whole lot of mid lane bans.
Yep.
All right, Ryze and
prepared.
LeBlanc off the table, but this time around it's 100 Thieves removing LeBlanc, so Abba won't be reaching for that.
It's interesting because the Syndra isn't banned yet, and you want to play LeBlanc Syndra side, and you're kind of setting up TL to take the Syndra with their 4th pick.
So then you imagine it's the next ban coming from 100
I
Thieves.
would expect.
That's why I think
Yeah.
that you can hold on to the Lee Sin mid lane for 5th pick. You can actually just hold on to jungle like what you were saying, Dash, just because you've seen how damn good Jensen is on the pick. That does mean you'll have a low DPS composition, so the Jayce does help in that regard. Usually going into the full Manamune, Cyrilda's build is a teamfight powerhouse and side lane strong suit, so I think that makes the Lee Sin pick mid more viable.
Also works just for getting mid lane counter pick. Even if you keep the Lee Sin in the jungle,
Yeah.
you then can see what Abbeddage is actually going to play.
Well, I would love to see. Okay.
I knew it was going to be Braum,
Yeah,
the Leon.
well-
The other B.
They baited me.
Yep.
Should have known. I should have known. The Braum gets picked up. We saw Huhi playing a phenomenal Braum yesterday in their best of 5. Really, really high-level defensive play out of that support, keeping FBI alive on that Aphelios time and time again. But this time it's in the hands of CoreJJ, so we'll wait to see the response here out of 100 Thieves.
Interesting that we're seeing the Shen hover in general.
Shen support, right?
It could be Shen support, or they could flex the Renekton mid as well.
Well, with the Orianna pickup, I think we now know where that's going.
Yeah.
I want to see what support you can go. You actually have a pretty large wealth of options going up against the Braum, but I do think more engage is needed from 100 Thieves side. So they'll just probably be picking for comp, even if it's bad into Kalista Braum.
I was going to say there's a degree that you have to be a little careful. I wouldn't want to see like a Nautilus. That would be a little bit too far into like, for the comp, be engaged. I think the Alistar is a good medium in that regard where lane phase isn't as aggressive as some Kalista lanes can be if it's paired up with a Braum.
Yeah, still rough in general, but exactly, like to the point, if you're ever seeing an engage from a Kalista, that level 6 ulti from Alistar is going to do a lot of work. There it is!
Yeah. So we're playing the side lanes.
1-0 so far in the best of 5, and it was a slaughter. It looked just like 2018, the fastest best of 5 in LCS championship history, and they're running it back now.
But the nameplates were flipped, Phreak. That's the important part there. I do like the draft that TL has come away with more than in game number 1, though. Alphari has a stronger matchup, and they can play towards it.
Well, 100 Thieves off to 1-0 start. Latagra sitting by with the head coach Reaper.
They said it. Game number 1 was a slaughter. What was the difference maker to have such a banging start here in the series?
I don't think we are like really better than TL. It's just like they are starting like losing a lot and then losing the map, like obviously. So we don't put any mean on the game 1. We're just looking for game 2.
So if the assumption is that Team Liquid are going to get ramped up themselves throughout the series, what do you think is most important to make sure 100 Thieves can carry that momentum here into game 2?
Case by case. Honestly, this game, they have a really strong early game team comp, so we have to kind of scaling out in this game. So we'll see if we can make that out.
Keeping an eye on that scaling. Thanks again, as always, Reeford. Back to the casters.
Love them making use of the Braum here for the level 1 invade on the side of Team Liquid, but Closer does at least get his Raptor away, trying to get level 2.
If he takes a little camp, he can get level 2 and then suddenly fight Santorin for his FBI, and Huhi are stepping around, so they will have a level lead in the 3-on-3 shortly, but the camp resets, so now they gotta walk in and make it happen, easily smite it away. Closer, I know he didn't have much time left for it, but either way, it's TL allowed to walk out with a camp taken, both junglers using spites, and Santorin's gonna cut off the top jungle.
And Huhi loses his Ignite there, so that's actually pretty critical. You're already playing against this Braum with Exhaust. There's not really any ability to threaten an all-in, so you just can't fight against this. They're gonna have to play so far on the back foot.
I expect this game to look completely different from game number 1. This is the type of composition that Team Liquid really want to get, where they're the ones with the extra global. Now no longer is there a Shen for 100 Thieves, but also with Jensen's Twisted Fate, he enables both of the side lanes. They can very easily teleport down to bottom lane for this Kalista Braum, go for dives, go harassment here on 100 Thieves. So a lot can be set up, and as you're talking about, even early summer spells being blown down there does give them the extra combat advantage.
And you generally think about Braum, you know, when you have a pairing with Kalista, you think about aggressive pairings, but the Braum even bringing Exhaust here, I think it's more looking towards shutting down the Viego, shutting down the Renekton, these champions that have to get in your face, that are very aggressive, that need to find that first reset. And Braum with Exhaust is going to be a strong answer to that. There's a lot of CC lockdown, you know, between the TF, between the knock-up from the Kalista ultimate and that Braum.
Turn look at it mid really briefly. Abbeddage, of course, not stepping up for anything. He's got a mini wave in his face, so not much to be seen, but Top Scuttle has spawned now, and that's going to Lee Sin.
Also some little things here. Santorin, yes, he is covering there for possible counter gank, but it's mostly to, in case they get in that duel in the River 2, he just barely leeches level 3 right before fighting over Scuttle Crab. So if you get into that fight on Scuttle Crab, then he has the extra advantage. He's able to get top Scuttle. You can easily transition down to your winning lane on bottom side, which is afforded to you for a super free double Scuttle Crab here for Team Liquid.
And he's going to get the really delayed 3 buff, right? Because he started enemy red, he went to his top quadrant, took that side of the map, which was more vulnerable. Then he can take this bottom side Scuttle, do a clear on the bottom side, and it's going to be a really nice start here from Santorin. It's smart pathing and smart playing around the strength that Braum has at level 1.
Yeah, and exactly that. You know, utilizing the strengths of your comp this time around should look so different. Early game here going swimmingly for them. Tactical and CoreJJ even were able to crash all the way into turret, so they get the wave bouncing back at them now. This affords them the very free recall there for CoreJJ in Brush. He doesn't reveal anything. With the wave pushing towards them, Tactical even positioning fairly aggressively here still in lane. And with that extra safety, is going to be able to get off this first support roam. Boots picked up for CoreJJ. Guess what? This is the man that started it all. The revolution of North American LCS roaming support.
Sure.
And he's back at it again.
Heading topside, knows where Viego has been for the most part, knows what his pathing looks like, and he roams to put a control board down in the top river. All right, he'll cover the Jayce Renekton soon enough. Of course, Dragon, by the way, also spawning in a second's time. Bot lane recall for double longsword, and Ssumday gets the defensive ward. But yeah, look where this wave is, right? It's so hard for Ssumday to play around this.
Exactly. Ssumday is in this kind of stuck state. And so you see Closer on the map. You know, he's coming out right now, but TF is moving up as well, and Braum is there to cover. So TL wants to have this extra man, and that's why CoreJJ is staying.
Spotted on both wards. Is it going to be enough? Shoves the wave in. Alphari takes a lot of turret shots, or sorry, a lot of minion damage as Closer is here in time. Abbeddage is forced to teleport to match. Jensen only had to walk, so that is a summoner advantage, but no kill.
Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, TL basically anticipated what they were going to try to do.
Control ward gives a lot of space for TL. You can't easily walk down this way.
Yeah, they're trying to zone them, delay him from getting to the mid wave, try and let as many minions as possible die there. Jensen gets to push it in as well. They just have to be careful not to get caught.
Yeah, it's not going to be any meaningful damage done. They can, clean out those 2 control wards that TL put down to make that path safe as 100 Thieves get, some gold off the table, but there were some mid lane minions denied. It's 5 to 6 in mid.
I mean, it's a small thing overall, but I just think that kind of play is so smart. When you have the wave stacking up and then your top laner freezes it, what is the other team going to do? They're going to call up their jungler to break the freeze. So CoreJJ has preempted that by being the extra man, bringing up your mid laner. So at worst, it's going to be that one extra guy, and they force out the TP with it.
There's a knockback. Alphari's going to buy some space, but where is he going to get the reinforcements from? They're not going to be there. 100 Thieves find first blood in the top lane.
And that one, I think, is critical for 100 Thieves, because all of these things that were just stacking up in favor of Team Liquid were about to culminate in the extra global advantage that we've been prefacing for this Twisted Fate all series long. There's no teleport for the Orianna, and so Twisted Fate Ultimate is ready to try and save Santorin if he needs it.
He has a ward and he has a flash. He's not going to be killable. There's no reason to chase that one down. Honey Fruit Pop, he says, thanks, I'll pick that one up and heal back up, no problem. But doesn't likely feel good about invading. No, he's still going to walk up. No wards right now. Smite is up for both. Gets it just barely.
The Thieves have to be very careful about trading in lane right now, too. With the mobility advantage for Jensen, with the ultimate ready, they're trying to pick a fight, and there it is.
Ssumday ult. He has flash, though. It's not an easy follow-through, and of course, Santorin still no kick, means nothing's going to really happen. Another look at the closer. This could be enough. Sonic Wave lands. Closer does have smite. Use it for a bit of healing. Has to flash down as well. Gets a shield from Abbeddage. Barely lives. But it does mean TL gets to walk into the jungle and take stuff away.
This was really smart. I mean, not just overcommitting onto Ssumday, who would have been able to dash over the wall. He had the ulti up. He was going to be very difficult to burst down. So instead, smart target selection, pushing closer out. They're going to steal away multiple camps here from him, force out his flash, and hold down this guy who has been incredibly important for 100 Thieves' success.
Very, very small lead. Team Liquid, FTX gold advantage, just 100 here. Both junglers had bought early spikes. Jhin on one side, Iron Spike Whip on the other. It wasn't like they were pushing on closer because he hadn't bought or anything. They just said, no, we have the power. Jayce is walking down. He's going to be good. We know we have TF ultimate. And it was the right call. It was really impressive because there wasn't anything obvious saying, oh, it's a freebie. Both junglers were 5. Both junglers had an item. It was just a very smart play. And now we get to see the objectives start to go TL's way. Keep in mind, game 1 was basically 2 kills and a turret away from a perfect game, and here they are now grabbing early Herald and looking a bit better.
And this is exactly why it is scary to play the team that picks both side lanes this offensive in their early matchups, as well as compounding it with a Twisted Fate. It means that you get to control both early game neutrals if you are able to get out those summoners early. And so number 1 here, top side, right after burning the flash from closer, they immediately get Rift Herald and look to collapse.
One plate down in mid, roaming towards top side. Good control. We're going to see what's going on. And in fact, they don't see that it went down there. They don't know 100% for sure. But now Ssumday, of course, has to walk back and pay his respects. Huhi's around, closer there as well. And they're not going to get anything else done. So summoners all held, and out they walk.
And secondary benefit, Phreak, guess what? You had Kalista Braum pushing on bottom side the entire time. So Kalista will retain that dragon control for you. You don't have to use your Rift Herald in an early play. You can transition. Everybody gets their resets. Empowered Rift Herald recall is very, very powerful for junglers in this early stage. So after finishing up red quadrant there for Santorin, you can just move on to the bottom, get the dragon stacking going for your team as well.
The mid wave gets to be pushed on down, waiting for the TF ult to come back, which is in just a couple of seconds. Hoping that TL can answer back in this series. Again, Rift Herald in inventory. You're looking for a turret with only 3 plates left. That means you spend a bit of effort, do 800 damage yourself. Herald does the rest. You get first turret gold. But right now, only seen about 1 plate off each and every lane. So not an easy and obvious target just yet.
Yeah, I mean, all the moves towards topside have been answered well by 100 Thieves. They have been covering for their top laner. They were the ones to pull off the successful gank, get the first blood onto Ssumday. So he is really not behind by any means. As far as total gold, they're going to be just about dead even. Ssumday probably a little bit up. So going to be feeling good. And it's interesting to see the FBI just rushing the tabbies. It is a very physical damage heavy team on the side of TL, especially expecting Everfrost plus Rapid Fire. Of course, there is magic damage from that, but he has the cleanse to answer the CC, so he's kind of indexing towards the armor to try to deal with a lot of physical damage that's going to be coming out.
Both are trying to trade blows, but yeah, no problem. Goes to Santorin. He's going to be just taking every buff. He 3-buffed the first time around. Got both blues second time around. He's getting everything done so far. Obviously, he's up 3 camps, and those 3 camps are buffs.
Meanwhile, with that river control, 100 Thieves going to be able to keep vision over this dragon. And even though you do have Twisted Fate ultimate ready to go, the answer is definitely here. Closer moves over to try and protect Abeddage on the wave push in. Santorin still with Rift Code and it hits.
Stun's gonna land. Braum, no, it's actually Lee Sin kicking him away, making sure there's nothing to be done. Red buff on, decent damage, but not a kill just yet. Able to control ward and hop away.
Really good disengage kick there from Santorin, because you know if he doesn't instantly do that, then the R comes out from Closer. If that was cast a little bit earlier, he'd go unstoppable, immune it, and try and get that conversion on Jensen. With that disengage, though, they do buy themselves time to get Scuttle Crab and actually get the reset for Jensen, who still has his ultimate.
Headbutt, flash, pulverize, but Tactical gets it blocked by support. Huhi pulls right back in. Huhi's got the ulti on. Braum goes up for the knockup. Lee Sin coming around as well, but no kick available. Makes this fight a bit difficult, so Jhin opens up. They're going to find the stun. They're going to find the execution. And they won't quite get CoreJJ, but it's 2-0 on the board for 100 Thieves. Looking for the third. Can you slice through? He's gonna flash, gonna find the stun. TF here for the help. Somebody heal by some time. Ssumday has been stunned, and the Jhin W will not land. They gotta walk right back out of this one.
And they have to be quick about it, because this entire time,
Hex Flash!
And he's in for the headbutt pulverize. CoreJJ gonna flash to safety now as well. Health bar still very, very low, but again, safety has been found. And this whole time, Alphari is getting stuff done in top lane. Last game it was 4 kills for 4 plates. This time it's 1 kill for 4 plates. Not yet. A second kill for 4 plates. Still, though, that is a lot of money to earn at the end of the day.
It is. I mean, he's going to get a ton here on that top side. Does get that 4th plate. You know, he is going to push in and deny even more farm. You can see the CS advantage pretty significant now on that top side. They're dropping Shelly, so that tower is gone. It's going to be even more gold into the pockets here of Alphari. 100 Thieves making a very aggressive play on the bot side, utilizing their double TP from the solo laners, but not really coming out with, I think, enough to justify it. They didn't even get the dragon. The dragon is still alive after all of that because they needed to get to the top side to not lose a tier 2 to the Herald.
Meanwhile, Huhi's right back out, and he gets disengaged kicked once again by Santorin. So there's no recoup on the other side of the map either. Big push there from Team Liquid, definitely advantage.
So, we can take stock of the game right now. EpicSkillshot advantage, 1,200, and I'm pretty sure the entirety of that is just on their top laner, Alphari. As we are going to see the dragon come across, so it's actually TL getting every epic objective so far in this game. 100 Thieves have kills, but Team Liquid are the ones with objectives, and that's the part that wins games.
And this gets actually so difficult now because you spent double TP, you didn't really get a huge reward, you didn't get the dragon. Now the global is in the favor of the team that is playing 1-3-1. There is the TF ulti up and available here very shortly. The TP is available for Alphari, so 100 Thieves have to play really defensive, and that could result in TL farming even more turret plates.
Jayce still in top lane right now, though, has not sent him somewhere else to be a primary siege mechanism. Just gonna, absorb the farm for now. Obviously, a great build with Mythic and some healing cut. The tier stacking up. He's actually going for early steel caps because of the triple AD opposing composition, so not quite as easy to kill, and that gold lead should be pretty safe in his hands.
And the 100 Thieves, even with giving up, early first turret here on top side of the map, they still have so much team fighting power to rely on as they start to scale up through this game. They still have the Viego resets, and he's completed the Divine Sunder, so off to the races here. Now he's already starting up for Rift Herald number 2 in an attempt to try and get, some tower pushing advantage back in their favor. And then we'll see the counter punch from 100 Thieves. Put this one to the test. Can they get the flank from Huhi to start this team fight out and actually bring this extra synergy to Brunt?
And you just look, there's just no vision on this top side for Alphari. He has this line of wards, that's it. So that is why he is playing so far back. It is very dark up there.
Headbutt pull, a lot of damage, going for the execute, and they're gonna get it. Santorin is down 4-0 in kills.
Guess what? Huhi does find his play right out of the brush there. Alistar combo over the top, sets up Closer. All you need is 1 point, man, to get somebody chunked for Closer. He immediately executes them. The Viego now getting a kill is going to start to cause some trepidation on the side of Team Liquid because they had already gotten the Rift Herald, so the rewards of getting a pick are that much bigger.
flash for the gold card, a great flash over the wall, but Frost still in. Follow up, no, the shockwave on a 3. The pulverize to follow. Is it gonna be enough? They find a stun. Jhin opens up. Will Jhin close it down? CoreJJ puts on the shield. The 4th shot would get a kill, but it's gonna miss. That said, closer is still in. Headbutt pulls back in for the Alistar. Kill number 5 has been found. Number 6, they wanna get it, but first one is traded back by Alphari, who himself will fall into the turret. A triple kill for Closer, who just does it better no matter what champion he's on.
Stop giving this man Viego, okay? You know, he plays well on all champions that we've seen him get, but man, does this one hit different.
He is so good at this champion. As you said, Phreak, he picks up your soul, he plays it better than you're playing it. He's hitting all the skill shots. Triple kill there for Closer, and all of a sudden, he is way ahead again. It comes off of a pretty heavy force here from TL. Abbeddage getting a lot of space. The Everfrost and Gold card are there, but they have to pile through this area that they had no vision that I was highlighting earlier.
I like how Abbeddage kept his wits about him, kept his focus on hitting that shockwave to set up for Huhi to buy the time for the rotation over. FBI leads the 4th shot a little bit. That does make Jensen walk backwards so that they can get this conversion. You have Alistar setting up for the Braum jump from Closer, using the abilities to close the distance, then instantly execute, pick up the extra kill, and 100 Thieves, just as we set it up for them, are able to use that synergy of the 5-on-5. They get the collapse, pick into Rift Herald mid, into defense on top side, and they surge ahead.
Gold in their favor. Looking good. Yeah, I'm curious as well. Who thinks anymore that you can deal with Closer Viego? Because so far, very few teams have been able to do so. Team Liquid is in that list.
I think there's no shot we see it in another game in the series. I think they're not going to give it over to him again, regardless, win or lose in this game. But it has been such a problem.
We thought there was going to be no shot coming into this game. We're going to see it, and you get a back-to-back, baby.
Well, let's look at the objectives of the map, because in 1 minute, we're going to have the Ocean Drake spawning. We already know that 100 Thieves were able to pick up several turrets off of their plays. Top lane had a lot of pressure. You talked about the ward control earlier. Second Rift Herald made mid-fall. Bot lane got attacked plenty a little while ago. And now the Dragon score could be tied. Hey, not the early soul that we had last time, but control of the game all the same for 100 Thieves. They begin to set up the bottom side. First, it does belong to Team Liquid, though. They are the ones getting rid of control wards. They're the ones putting vision down, but you have to expect 100 Thieves fight for it back. That said, Orianna and Viego are going top side instead.
They do have double TP available, so it is possible, but we'll see if they want to. They were getting blue buff for Abbeddage, and they have TP on Ssumday. He's coming out of base now. TL have Prio in the area, have vision in the area, but there's so many flank wards that Ssumday could actually TP to. You look behind TL, they did not cover their flanks at all. There's so many angles that Ssumday could come from.
And that might be it then. 1700 is the FTX Gold advantage right now, but honestly, TL do at least own the river. The flank I agree with, but the river itself is dotted most with TL control wards.
There it is.
They're getting pushed out. Here's the Renekton TP, who he's at half health, but he's Alistar. He can survive that one. Aftershock plus the ult is going to be pretty good. However, Ssumday TPs into enemy champions. It's enough to fight Alphari, sets it up, and Ssumday knocks it down. 1-for-0. Your top focus means nothing when the other team just plays the fights better. All of the gold has been killed, and 100 Thieves win the fight.
It all comes down to the vision control here. 100 Thieves with so many deep wards, even with the quick response there from Jensen trying to turn it into a 2v1 against Ssumday. He's too tanky at this point. With the Gore Trigger completed, with the ultimate pop, they didn't even force his stopwatch, and it was vision that turned that fight on the top side as well, chasing into the shockwave, not having eyes on Huhi. 100 Thieves has been controlling the wards on the map, and as a result, they're finding the better fights.
100 Thieves are making the LCS Championship Finals look like a speed run, boys. Look at this. You mentioned the teleport beforehand. He had so many wards to choose from. He gets in there on the Alistar follow-up from Huhi to finish him off. Ssumday, great spacing there. Doesn't get hit by the wild card, doesn't get clipped. He just sets it up for the team. They knock it down, they find the pick, and with that, the rewards of the dragon afterwards.
And they're just losing so much control. It's very difficult to play side lanes effectively, even if you win your 1v1 when you don't have vision. And I don't think that Alphari is even winning his 1v1 anymore. You see that the steel caps are done, the Bramble is in. You know, Ssumday is up in gold, up in farm at this point. Again, they have drafted towards this side lane win condition, and they have been unable to get it to a point where it really has any effect on the game. Like, look at how dark this map is. If we could actually swap to TL's vision, there's just nothing that he can see. Like, how do you push out that bot lane? You got no idea where anyone is.
Well, we got a question mark ping in the dry brush. TL's like, or 100 Thieves like, I wonder, okay, he might have control worded that. I think we saw it go down, but they own the map right now.
Yeah, I also just want to shout out Ssumday because this guy's been playing in LCS, quietly on 100 Thieves for so long here, and now in the finals showing up. Emily mentioned, well, we're going to have a pick here first. That one doesn't need any commentating. He's dead, Phreak. Meanwhile, Emily was mentioning the Jhin pocket pick for him, and yet Renekton is his most played champion, most well known for. Shows up here big. Guess what, Phreak? Another pick!
And Santorin will be jumped upon, and we got another Lee Sin in the house right now. As Huhi and Close are gonna have to walk their way back out. Flash back in the queue. Huhi could die. No, of course he can't. But they still have 2 towers, and Closer, he's got to be careful. Running away with Ren that is back, and the shutdown comes through. Finally, another kill on the board. Team Liquid double that count. FBI now being chased apart. This could be enough. A flash backwards. Huhi is likely to drop. You gotta be kidding me. The man won't die, but he has only 4 HP. He's gotta keep running. FBI gonna cleanse. This has gotta be enough. This has to work. There's the gold card. There's the damage. There's another kill in for Alphari, and Huhi's got nowhere to go. Team Liquid breathe some life into their game.
Huhi gonna go for the 1v1 of the tower, execute at the end because the rest of Team Liquid are going for the Baron. They've got bigger fish to fry, Phreak.
Yes, they do, and they can knock this one down. I mean, Abbeddage and somebody else alive. The Orianna has TP, burns that now. Viego running out of the base, and Renekton running across the map. So they can watch this die, but I'm not sure they can get much done. Tactical healing up. Abbeddage gonna get spotted. Shockwave is available, dodges the shock blast. Can he do it better? Pulls in the top laner. Here comes the jungler, kicks back in. Stopwatch buys the time, and Tactical has 5 HP. So they gotta watch out for this one. Lee Sin finds a kill into Orianna. Smite for health, the Santorin's gotta walk away. Ssumday very low as well. Closer can't quite get his kill for the reset. Ulti is up, but not in range to get any of those kills.
I respect the attempt from TL. It was desperation, but they are in desperate times here. They are so far behind. Looking for the risky play, hoping that they could make a comeback happen off of what was an overextension from Under Thieves. They're diving between 2 towers, and they're trying to delay these recalls now.
Exactly, and they're buying time for the mid push here. They're right back out to pushing for macro. 100 Thieves shove the mid wave right into tower. Closer poking around, threatening to pick off any stragglers there. He basically delays the entire team, buying more time for the rotation you see on the minimap there for the rest of the team. Now, Roccat flipped the switch. Since you didn't get to do it the first time around, Phreak, I think it's fitting you don't get to do it this time around either. He's already dead. Closer picks up that kill, and here's the second pick.
Yeah, they find the follow through here. And this is where it just becomes a little bit too much, right? You're going between the towers for the extra kills onto Tactical. You're trying to dive through the Braum here, potentially. And he goes too far. The exhaust comes down. The shield bow is there to proc. Closer does get taken down here by Alphari with the TP. That's 700 gold in the pockets of the Jayce. He got an additional kill later in the play. So 1K plus for Alphari there. And all of a sudden, he's more relevant in the side lane, but the TP flank.
Here we go, play to the mid lane, Tactical and CoreJJ, the targets flash up on both though. The first one comes across, they're gonna pull in the second, but will he still die? Threaten's on top of him, Closer on the chase, but they can't get the kill. CoreJJ will be the target. CoreJJ likely to drop, dodging all the shots, and you gotta be kidding, the man's gonna live. Closer can't finish that one off. Huhi dangerously low as well. Ssumday takes a shock blast, no casualties in this fight.
Closer actually gonna be able to retreat with the rest of the team, and they find their way out. I think FBI, fourth shot, maybe going for Tactical would have been a better coverage and maybe even get the bonus there onto CoreJJ, but Team Liquid do a good job of extracting every member from that and switching over to the Dragon. This is only number 2, so it's not hugely pivotal, but it does mean some decent territory back.
I mean, it's great. TP was used there by 100 Thieves. They were looking for the kills into the Dragon or the kills into the Baron. When TL is able to kite that out, is able to survive, they are rewarded with the Dragon moving closer to a potential soul here in a much later stage of the game, but more importantly, shrinking the gold lead, clawing their way back in. What was looking like it might have been another stomp here for 100 Thieves.
They do have the Muramana conversion here for Alphari, so the Shock Blast will be definitely hitting hard if they're able to get some poke off before these fights. If you're able to spread the map a little bit and use the Twisted Fate ultimate there for Team Liquid, they definitely still have a way in. They definitely still can play to their strengths and don't have to get into that straight up front to back brawl with 100 Thieves where the resets from Viego are going to be so terrifying.
10-4, 1,300 gold lead. To be fair, you could almost double that in your mind. Keep in mind the fact that Jensen has about 800 free gold through his passive. So in terms of earned gold, it's more like 2,100. But the items in inventory are not going to lie to you. That is what they still own. Rapid fire cannon, of course, is done. Stopwatch broken. Jensen could be a reasonable target. Red buff attempt coming across. Santorin forced to run away from his own jungle. Gonna hold the Q. Nope, jump away. And that will be shock blasted.
Oh, yeah. Alphari got it.
Alphari.
Nicely
Take
done.
those. Red buff stolen.
Yeah, Closer wearing his own red buff. So nicely done. Alphari, still maybe the difference maker in this game. He got the pressure, and he's the one getting the kills in the team fights.
And this is buying some time for Jensen. Full push in on that bottom side, will crash the wave on the tier 2. Now he's back reset on the map. Ssumday will show bot, and he has no teleport. So this means 100 Thieves time on the map is done for now until they are back together, because you have to watch out for Jensen and the plays he's going to be looking for.
He's gonna farm Krugs, get more gold. But Renekton, generally speaking, you're gonna consider more of an early game champion. Good for his ability in lane. Obviously, you can flash stun, but does not have the frontline power of even a Braum with one item.
Part of the reason that people really consider Renekton so early game is the difficulty in getting into those team fights later on. But if Team Liquid continue to fail to clear the wards behind them, then Ssumday will still have these flank access points. And with flash up, that can be a terrifying even team fight tool if you're able to get the positioning to start it out.
And though Renekton can be squishy at times, if you can get in the middle of everyone, get the Gore Trigger, get the empowered Q, the amount of self-healing that this guy has is insane.
Yeah, the one coverage, at least, as we kind of keep on the discussion, is that Alphari went for the really grievous wounds tax. Like, very intelligently got this item, so you cut all that healing by 40%. That's going to be meaningful. The kit interaction where the empowered W breaks stuns, that's almost never going to line up with the shield timing of Team Liquid, because you're going to early stun tactical, then shield bow pops, then Lee Sin shields, right? Then Braum hits the locket. It's almost never at the start, which is when you're going to go for the empowered stun. So a lot of the strengths Renekton can have just aren't quite going to line up in most team fights here in this game. Yes, he can be effective. It's just not the easiest game to pilot Renekton in, as your melee gets to Braum, and you kind of sit there with, no tenacity in the build in almost any case. So we'll see what happens. Again, wards you're calling out, Azael and Kobe as well, going to be really crucial to look at. Deficit now 700 for Team Liquid. Honor Thieves walking in. Tactical. Great stopwatch buys time, but a team fight is now what we're going to see. Pulverize on a 2, most likely, but they're still cutting away pretty well. The shield's in front. Double shockwave might mean a kill. CoreJJ pushes them right back out, and Alphari wants in. Can't find the kill. Goldcard going to find FBI. Dueling in a 1v1. His exhaust is on. Huhi forced to run away, and now in comes CoreJJ. Wants to set up in the mid laner. Will they find the kill in Abbeddage? Yes, they will. 2 for 0 for the Jayce, but Closer may have come alive. He's ignited. Has very little health, but he gets 2 kills. He gets the reset, and now it's time to find a kill on a Jensen, as this could be it for the kill. Yes, finds the stun, and again, Closer just makes it happen.
The Ruined King indeed. It's King Closer, and he's coming for the base next. Push right in. The minion wave already here, so the rewards are basically doubled for 100 Thieves. Tower down, inhibitor gonna be soon to follow.
Inhibitor turret gonna fall for sure. Inhibitor itself often secures the Baron. I think the base itself might be too tough to actually knock down. They are going to back up for this one, and we'll see if they can rush down that in time. Keep in mind, Jensen has TP, and Alphari will the same when he spawns.
It's so close. You can see every team fight, the focus that Team Liquid have on trying to kill Closer there. Alphari even jumps in melee form on Jayce super early to try and chunk him down. They get his flash out. They're trying to pressure him. Lee Sin jumps through as well, and yet he's able to barely survive, still gets the resets. It's so damaging for them in these team fights. Good shockwave there, opens up the possible re-engage, but they kite it here. There's the Alphari commitment onto Closer. Santorin even trying to threaten him, and they've got already Huhi out of the fight. But look at this focus. Jhin able to find the range. They get the ultimate off. Ssumday is able to get them low enough to provide souls for Closer.
And another team fight, another half-health target. CoreJJ pops in the locket, has the shield up, and a stopwatch buys some time. Knocked back in, but there's the first kill. Braum is still prey. Jhin finds the second one. Santorin gets big shields, but it's not going to matter there either. Closer is in for a killing spree now on the Viego.
They're going to go mid. They have the super minions. It's just 2 members here from TL trying to hold on against 5.
So far, the top focus has not paid off for Team Liquid, but at least they survived more than 30 minutes. That said, 100 Thieves have still been the dominant team here in the finals. 1-0 was quick, 2-0 not long after. Nexus turrets under fire, and Alphari and Jensen These solo laners will not even step up. They'll preserve the KDA instead of fighting for their lives. It wouldn't matter anyway. The Nexus falls, and 100 Thieves are one game away from hoisting their first LCS trophy.
No more Ruined King for the Jungle King closer. I actually can't take it anymore. This man, the team plays so well, getting Soul set up for him. He clutches out the team fight, and 100 Thieves win moments after.
Man, it's Closer's world. We're all just living in it. He has been smurfing so hard through playoffs.
Yeah.
And now, you know, coming into this series, I was really looking at two players. I was looking at Alphari, I was looking at Closer. To me, they were the front runners for playoffs MVP, for the people that have been performing the best when it counted in these most intense matches. And it has not been close in this series. Closer is far outperforming. TL is trying to play this same style where they want to play through side lanes, but vision control shut them down in this game. They have picks to answer, like the Shen. They have come in very prepared. TL clearly has no answer for Viego, so that has to be taken off the table, you think, for Game 3.
I think a lot of credit to Ssumday. You know, the offensive awards are always very easy to give, but defensive awards, when you're looking at and you're saying, oh, highlight player on Team Liquid is Alphari. What are 100 Thieves going to do? Ssumday has handled it so well. You mentioned the Shen pick, playing to the team, playing to the other strong side of the map. The Renekton pick, good for him once again, finds a huge flank for the team. In that fight, the reason Closer gets the reset is because Ssumday gets in there on the Renekton, gets the soul prepped.
Yeah, huge game so far. Huge series, 100 Thieves, one away, or maybe we're headed to a verse